4 days ago, Austin Evans uploaded this video with the dude from PS Ready, who, by the way, they are in two different realms of subscriber numbers. Next week, I'll be collaborating with Linus Tech Tips, apparently. Since Austin's very spicy take calling the new PS5 blatantly worse than the existing PlayStation 5 model, there have been a lot of articles from major outlets such as Digital Foundry simply refuting these statements made by Austin Evans. We're going to go over the fact. We're going to go over the fiction or people's opinions that aren't based on anything. Then we're going to go over the drama because it's actually pretty entertaining. Nerds sending shots at each other is one of the most glorious things to watch. Probably the best comment I've read in months. I remember when we just bought consoles and games and played them to have fun. Now everyone's a hardware engineering expert, self-proclaimed to know more than the actual engineers. And then we got Big Jiggity Jigsaw Joker over here. More evidence Austin Evans is blatantly lying. No, the new PS5 is not worse. Austin Evans just has a small schmeckle. Is the new PlayStation 5 weaker, slower, or less efficient with cooling than the current generation PlayStation 5? Alrighty, Stallions and Stallionettes, welcome to the Gamer Heaven. I am your host, AK40 Kevin. Sharing my screen over here, we're going to get the fact out of the way because that is what we had the least of. So, this video came out 4 days ago. Austin Evans and the dude from PS Ready did some external temperature testing, basically just aiming a thermometer, a laser heat gun, at the exhaust port of a new PS5 version, which is only available currently in Japan and Australia. However, all future models of the PlayStation 5 will be this model here. Sony is doing this because they can produce more of these PlayStation units because they have less materials or resources on board, about 300 grams less. So the takeaway for us, the gaming community, is that in essence, Sony should be able to get more of these into the hands of the actual gamers and consumers, not the bots and scripts of scalpers. That's their whole goal here. The next fact would be Austin Evans got absolutely obliterated after putting out this video. In fact, 28 minutes ago, he made this video right here where he basically said that he does not feel comfortable being on the internet right now as he has been doxxed and harassed relentlessly since this video. Completely unacceptable. Anytime you are doxing or swatting somebody IRL or in real life over their opinion online over something as non-consequential as a video game console that, by the way, most of you can't even get your hands on, that's an issue. The next fact, what exactly is different about the new PS5 model versus the original? Well, they have a dialed down heating system thanks to a new heatsink and cooling fan. The new models have a significantly smaller heatsink compared to the original or legacy PS5 and feature fewer copper and aluminum heat fins. The PS5 updated model has a new cooling fan by Delta Electronics that has 17 larger blades instead of 23 smaller blades. Also, the wing blades on the new fan protrude longer into the center of the original, which should produce better cooling. Apart from this, a new Wi-Fi receiver component is also visible on new models, but similar to the actual thermals, the actual cooling aspects of the PS5, the new Wi-Fi card has not been tested, but I do hope and pray that they have increased the Wi-Fi capabilities, because the Wi-Fi card, at least in my PS5, it is nothing pretty. Also, they don't mention it here, but another subtle yet very welcome change is now the screw on the bottom, which is mandatory to use the stand in its vertical orientation, is now not just a flathead, but can also be unscrewed by hands. So a small change, but a very nice convenience factor. Now, the next fact, the testing done by Austin Evans, very rudimentary and generally not the most accurate way of testing thermals. They were literally testing the exhaust port. So one of the major platforms that snapped back at Austin Evans was Richard Ledbetter over there at Digital Foundry, who claimed that the new units are quieter and more powerful thanks to the new fan. Again, that is Digital Foundry's opinion. There has been no legitimate testing. Also, the smaller heatsink succeeds in making it lighter and does not affect the performance. Yes, it is lighter, about 300 grams due to having less heat pipes and less copper on the heatsink. However, doesn't affect performance? That's just opinion. That's just Digital Foundry's opinion. But this is an interesting statement here. Whether the machine is hotter or not is still to be tested. Thank you. Finally, somebody says it. But logic does suggest that if a new cooling assembly was not up to the task, the fan would be increasing in speed and audible volume to expel the buildup of heat. That's true. This does not seem to be happening, and hours on end, the power draw is still consistent too, wrote Ledbetter. But here's where we get into the realm of fiction a little bit. So first of all, Austin Evans claimed that the console running hotter makes it worse. Yeah, that's logical. If a PC or a game console or any piece of tech gear is running hotter, technically that makes it worse, right? But Grubb refutes this claim, saying that if it runs the same games with the same performance, again, we don't know that yet, the temperature it runs at doesn't actually matter. Does it? In fact, Grubb estimates that this actually means that the cooling system on the original PS5 model was over-engineered and cooled more than it need to. That sentence sounds like some do-wackadoo tinfoil hat ridiculousness to me. Being over-engineered is generally a good thing. When a car's motor's over-engineered, that means it's going to last a long ass time. When a piece of tech gear is over-engineered, that means it's going to perform better than the technical specifications actually recommend, and cooled more than it need to. That is a good problem to have. That's like being like, oh, you lift more weight than you actually need to. Oh, you're better in bed than you actually need to be. You make more money annually than you really need to. Gamer Heaven pumps out more consistent content than he really needs to. Good problems to have. So Digital Foundry is just blowing hot air on this statement right here, in my opinion. Others have argued that the console putting out a higher temperature at the vents technically means that it's dissipating more heat. Since none of the other internal components changed, again, fiction. We don't know that. Nobody's tested the actual APU or SoC, system on a chip, to see the thermals. And it should feasibly be operating the same internally. So the thing is that I have to refute or rebuttal here. The exhaust is incredibly important on a console, you know why? Because 99% of people, I would probably say even more than that, where do you have your console right now? Most likely in an entertainment center, right? A piece of furniture in your living room, probably up against a wall, probably doesn't have much cooling behind it. Very, very few people have their console sitting in the middle of a room on some open air chassis test bench or something like that. If the exhaust temperature kind of does matter, because that's just getting spit back into the piece of furniture and recycled back into your air intake, which in essence would increase the temperatures. And in case you guys didn't see the original video from Austin Evans, all these videos and articles are linked in the description below. But his testing did show 3 to 5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature over the original, which to convert that for us North Americans is about 39 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a noticeable difference. Now, getting into a little bit more fiction here, we're going to watch a couple of clips or excerpts from Joker Productions. I had never heard of this gentleman, but he has 123K subscribers, so obviously he's got a rather loud voice on the platform. Let's check him out. Go ahead and pop the cans on. So he's technically made 2 videos about this topic. One was 3 days ago, so a day after Austin Evans' initial video, and then one was a day ago. So this is how you know a YouTube video is on a controversial topic. Look at this ratio of likes to dislikes here. He does have more likes than dislikes, but it's teetering. Just to preface this now for you guys watching, if you have a very, very small schmeckle or a loose taco, if you're a stallionette, go ahead and hit that dislike button. But if you got a big old veiny rager or a top portal, go ahead and hit the like button. This is not a kid-friendly channel, by the way. So I do like that he put timestamps in the timeline here for convenience. However, they're just blatantly incorrectly labeled. For example, proof that Austin Evans is wrong. He cites this article right here. Literally has absolutely nothing to do with the topic at hand. They're testing thermal paste versus liquid metal, not the new PS5 model. Then it says Austin Evans defending his position. Yeah, because his position was just his opinion. He was just doing some testing and stated his opinion that he does believe the console is now worse because in his testing and his results, 3 to 5 degrees Celsius hotter, again, 39 degrees Fahrenheit. And something else that Rich brought up over there at Review Tech, which is a very, very good point. Those fans are susceptible to getting clogged up with dust, skin, dander, pet hair, carpet residue, lint, etc. And unlike most PC gamers that take apart their case every, quarterly or even annually, whatever, to clean out their fans and dust off the Mobo with one of those little duster cans and whatnot, most console players very rarely want to pop off the side panels and partially disassemble their console to clean out the internals. When Sony removes some of their over-engineered cooling mechanics, that could be a bit of an issue. I'm gonna read this comment from Austin Evans though. Hey guys, this is Austin. Couple people mentioning higher exhaust temps could mean the cooler is doing a better job dissipating heat. The thing is, Sony removed a sizable amount of the heatsink on the new model. With fewer fins and smaller heat pipes, it simply isn't as efficient at moving heat out of the console. Think about it as if it were a PC. If I remove a large CPU heatsink in favor of a smaller one, the exhaust coming off my system would be hotter as the overall system temps are higher since the weaker cooler cannot cope. That's exactly what's going on, IMO, or in my opinion. When making a statement online on social media or online entertainment like Twitch TV or YouTube Live, it's always important to preface or to finish out your comments with IMO or in my opinion. It's kind of a shield, a digital shield to block you from the haters, so they can still attack you, but it makes them look stupid because it was just your opinion. So this is where it gets interesting in my opinion, guys. Proof that Austin Evans is lying, and then proof that Evans shows a bias. So it is very easy to take out of context or manipulate any YouTuber's words by making a compilation of them bashing one manufacturer or one console. But basically they try and make it out like he's a big Xbox fan and he might even be on the payroll of Microsoft. I don't believe that in any... That's some tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, flat earth, non-vax stuff. I don't believe Austin Evans has a bias. Maybe he has a personal preference because he's a human being. Maybe he enjoys his Xbox Series X more than his PlayStation 5. I don't think when he's making videos though, he's thinking, I have some hidden agenda. I'm gonna drive PS5 sales down and boost the Series X.
His video, it's only about a minute and a half, and it just shows some highlights bouncing back in conclusion at the end, and ends up praising the Xbox Series X for not having any degradation in performance in any way whatsoever, even though in his video on the updated PS5, his final conclusion was the exact opposite of that, is that now that it's running at that temperature, we're gonna see a degradation in performance, even though the clock speeds on these systems don't work like that.
So potentially long-term, it's the worst console, at least for thermals. And
also, this is something super funny that I kind of noticed when I was watching this. Look at the face of dude from PS Ready over here. Every time Austin makes a spicy statement or a hot take about the PS5, this guy looks so uncomfortable. I don't really know if I want to be collaborating with you, Austin Evans, even though you have 5.2 million subscribers and I have 40K. I'm uncomfortable to be here right now. Let me hide my face for that, actually.
PS5 is exposed. PS5 is exposed.
Look at PS Ready's face. He looks constipated and nervous. Okay, there's no need to watch the rest of this video. Again, this will be source or cited down there in the description below. This entire block of the timeline here says Digital Foundry's initial testing. It's not really initial testing. They didn't do any real thermal testing. Like literally, they went as in depth with the thermal testing as Austin Evans did, which is not very. And here's where the internet crosses the line a little bit. When you start doxing or swatting somebody or blatantly harassing them, it's okay to have a difference of opinion and whatnot. That's part of being an adult. We're not going to agree on the same topics and whatnot. But the fact that Austin has to make a video like this is unfortunate.
So I've gotten into some controversy. This is not a video that I wanted to make. In fact, I've actually put off making this video for a few days because I was hoping that things would just kind of blow over, but it's just escalated, right? Like I've been doxxed, it's sort of crossing some lines that I'm just not comfortable with, and it's all over a video game console.
So that isn't fiction or drama, that's just straight up fact that that's absolutely unacceptable behavior, and unfortunately that is kind of not the standard or norm, but it's rather common that a lot of trolls out there will pull out their tiny little clubs that don't do anything for anybody, start harassing people on the internet. Internet personalities, influencers, that is a stupid term. Influencers, online entertainers, commentators, etc. over a video game console. One that a lot of these trolls probably don't even own yet. Weird. So I've come to the aid of the gaming community and industry and disassembled 14 PlayStation 5s, digital only and disc versions, testing them from Japan, Australia, and North America to find out the real difference. I'm just kidding. I have 26,000 subscribers. I don't have access to PS5s like that. I've only got one, and I'm not breaking into her right now. But what we do need is a channel like Linus Tech Tips, Gamers Nexus, or Jay's 2 cents to disassemble these consoles and do some correct thermal testing because Austin Evans simply did not. Testing the exhaust port is not effective cooling and definitely not a strong enough basis or foundation to stand on to call it a worse console. What really does make it a better console is even if it is 2 to 3 degrees Celsius hotter, if they can produce more of them and more people can actually get their hands on them to where I'm not only playing with 3 or 4 buddies that have PS5s, that's good. I know I don't have to prompt you guys to do this because you're already going to do it. In fact, you've probably already typed a comment down there. Go ahead and jump into the conversation down there in the forum, the think tank below. If you enjoyed the video, slapping a nice juicy thumbs up on it will help it to get seen by more people, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, as well as tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing. And I will see you guys tomorrow because I upload daily as well as going live on this channel Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good day. Peace.